Hi, I'm Tash from LoveIsBlind UK. It's so odd to talk about with people, but it's like when I was stood at the outside, so you're obviously all lined up on the red carpet and you wait to go into the pods. And before I'd even walk in the room, it's like I knew he was going to be on the other side. Honestly, it is the weirdest feeling. On the first day, he was like my number one. The room just felt still. I got told 2 months after they weren't together. So I did know that, but for my own self-respect, like I could never reach out to him again. A year on, and then when the first 4 episodes dropped, I got a voice note at like 10 o'clock at night.
No way, you've got to set the record straight. Would you have tried in a different world?
I'd been in a relationship for like 5 years. When I'd come out of that relationship, I wasn't quite sure who I was anymore. I wasn't sure what my identity was. Losing that weight, it did wonders for my confidence, but it was less about what I looked like and more about how I felt. And I have had very little confidence. It's something that I've dealt with for like probably 5-6 years. I definitely lost myself and my identity for like quite a while. When I say I had little, I think my confidence was just on the floor.
Tasha from LoveIsBlind UK, welcome to the podcast. Thank you for taking the time. It's taking you 3 hours to get into London. I'm super, super grateful. I know you're just about to start going public, going on podcasts, going on platforms to talk about your experience. There's so much to unpack here.
Yes, I know. It's been the whole year journey from filming, obviously, in the pods to here now. It's just been madness. And to see it now on TV and on the screen, it feels surreal, and I feel it's very overwhelming at the moment, to be honest. Because obviously you're going through all the emotions in terms of what you want on the show, and then you've got the eyes of the world on your story and your romantic journey as well. So yeah, it's a lot.
It's a lot. And we're going to unpack all of this. We've seen a little bit about you. We know your age, your profession. We've heard about your connections in the pods. But let us into Tasha's world. Like, what was Tasha growing up, your childhood, siblings? What do you like doing?
So I've got 2 sisters. I'm the middle one, and I've come with a lot of middle child traits, I think, as well. So I'm quite like independent and driven in terms of that. So I've always wanted to be. My 2 sisters are very similar, like, very similar. They're both teachers, and I've always been the one that kind of wanted to be a little bit like different, stand out from the crowd. So that's just kind of been normal anyway. But me and my family were super close. Obviously, we've had adversity when we were younger, but I think that's true of every family. But we're a super tight unit. And so part of one of the reasons of going on the show is that I wanted someone that I could kind of like embody that same family unit that I've got as well for myself. So yeah, hobbies, interests. I did photography at university. So I've got a little bit of a creative eye. I'm more of a bit of a nerd, like I said, like, like on like coding and stuff like that. So I have a little bit of creative, but most of it is, I like sitting on my laptop, going to the cinema and that kind of thing on my own.
It's really nice to know a little bit more about you, because it feels like we've seen Tasha on our screens throughout the summer, and then obviously there's so much to your personality. There were particular comments that you made on the show that really got me like, oh, love that about you, but we're going to get into that. LoveIsBlind UK came out finally this year. You and I both, we were chatting earlier, we both watched LoveIsBlind US. We've gone on watching LoveIsBlind Mexico, at least I have. I'm not so much into reality TV, but like I said to you earlier, this is the one that I would be binge watching. And I think it's been really well received this year because people like yourselves went onto the show with good intentions. And I think the age as well came across as somewhat of a plausible age where you would actually be considering a serious relationship. And then I feel like there's been real practical issues that's been tackled as a conversation, right? Some of the cast members having previously been married, talking about finances, cultural differences, and so on. When you were approached, you said you were approached for Instagram. What was your first reaction? What got you comfortable going on LoveIsBlind?
I mean, I had a lot of conversations before I got to the process of being in, but I was so tired of dating in the modern day, to be honest. Like, I'm tired of dating apps. And when I got this, I thought this is such a crazy way to meet someone. But for me, I've had a lot of issues with like confidence and like with me losing weight and people kind of view me a little bit differently from before and when I did. And I'd been in a long-term relationship as well. Like I was with my ex for 5 years. So then going out into doing normal dating was really scary. It was really intimidating. And I thought I was really ready to like meet someone to do the rest of my life with. And I thought, do you know what? It's the things you don't do that you regret. And you never know. Like, I thought it was like a bit of a sign of the universe, to be honest. I was like, I'm just going to go with it. So I did. And I don't have any regrets. It was literally just such a good opportunity. And I met some incredible people. Even though for me, obviously, my story didn't work out in terms of meeting the love of my life. It was still, a great opportunity. I could still went through all the motions.
You said you're quite close to your family, to your sisters. When you talk to them about potentially going on Love is Blind, can you recap the process for us? Like, how many weeks go into filming? Because obviously we see the filming, we see you guys in the pods, then some of you go on to the retreat, and then there's the wedding, the reunion, and so on. How many weeks were you away from your family?
So for me, the pods is actually only it's 10 days. It feels like 10 days to like the normal world feels like no time at all. But in there, we're stripped of like our phones. We don't have any contact with friends and family. We don't see the news. We don't have anything that's going on in the outside world. So it's literally...
It's all magnified and amplified.
Yeah, 100%. It's so intense. It's just you and the people that you're connecting with. And even so, like, I'm quite lucky. I've got a lot of girlfriends from like the lounge and stuff. But even then, it's like, to form friendships, it is hard because we're all dating the same people. So it's hard to have those conversations. And when that's all you're doing in that experience is you're literally dating these men. And you don't want to, I didn't want to make anyone feel uncomfortable by saying I'm like really interested in this person, because you don't know who they're connecting with, and you don't want to sway anyone's decision because they might have said something to you that might have been like a bit of what to you might be a red flag. So you don't want to voice that in the lounge, like, oh, he said that to me, or what, it was a green flag, I don't know. You don't want to, it's very hard to have certain conversations. So when I talk to my sisters about it, my sisters are like, they're both very settled. And so my older sister, she's got a husband, 2 kids, got like 2 gorgeous nephews. So for them, they don't need to do the dating world. They don't really get it, to be honest. They don't understand the frustration. So they've very much been a bit like, oh, are you sure? And also, it's not even just that. It's like putting your whole life out for the world to see,
right.
Like your whole love life as well. It's so personal. And you do get so like embroiled in it all, and they're like, are you sure you want to do this, Natasha, in terms of literally you're putting your whole everything, like, and I bared my soul on there on the show, but yeah, they were like, maybe have some reservations, are you sure you want to do this? But I was like, no, I think I should. I think that I'm going to meet someone in doing this process. So
you did feel like you might meet someone great.
100%, yeah, definitely. Like in terms of all the cast, like when I had conversations with the production team, you could tell that like how they vetted me. I thought if they're going to vet me like this, then surely they're vetting all the men in the same light as well. So, yeah.
And then you went on to the show. On day 1, I know you say that's normally filmed in Sweden, so I had the whole impression that it was actually filmed in the UK, but the pod setup is in Sweden.
Yeah.
Who do you remember? Like, do you have any vivid memory of like connecting with someone really strongly with the girls? Or when you were in the lounge on day?
Yeah, Demi, Jasmine, Priya, literally all the girls, I'm like, I love to pieces. I think we have like a really close bond. It's really nice because we were all in this mad experience together. It's hard not to form super close friendships. So, but I'd say like my absolute, even all of them, genuinely, because I think every single one of the 15 of us have very different character traits, completely worlds apart from each other a little bit. But we're all bonded so much on this experience now, and it's like I've made like lifelong friends. But yeah, like Demi, Jasmine, Priya, Maria. We've done like a few bits like meet up off camera and stuff like that. But yeah,
no one else would get what you've been through, right?
Exactly,
it's a unique experience.
Exactly, we definitely have that like completely bonds us together. Like it's really nice. It's that special. So
that's amazing. When you were on the show, it almost felt like you had 2 storylines. You had your storyline with your connection, Tom Stroud, who we're going to talk about in a second. And then you did have your own storyline, you as a person. One of the things that you mentioned at some point was your weight loss journey. You talk about losing weight, you lost 5 stones. I don't know if that was the storyline that you did discuss prior to going onto the show. What was the intention? Because I do think it's really brave that you mentioned that when you didn't have to. It was your past journey, you looked amazing. And then you did mention that, and I remember them showing a picture as well.
Yeah, I think, so for me, that was like a personal journey. I never ever mentioned that to any of my connections because I didn't want anyone to know I was like, I I was really careful in the pods. I absolutely tried not to describe how I looked or what I looked like at all, because that was the whole point of me going on that show, is that I wanted to be judged in terms of who I was as a person and not how I look and how I present myself. So for me, but that was something that I'd shared, and one of the main reasons why I'd gone on Love is Blind, because I was so tired of the superficial dating world and being judged on appearance. I wanted someone to find out exactly who I was and what I embody. I sometimes get like a little bit anxious when I am in front of someone. It makes me more nervous, I think. So for me, that was like, having that wall it stripped me of like that uncomfortability of, are they looking what I look like? Sometimes I do get a bit anxious that people like judge me when they're maybe not doing. Like, I don't know. I think maybe that's myself. And I obviously gained a lot of confidence before going into this. But that was one of the reasons why I did, because I thought maybe having this wall up, I'll be completely myself. Like, it's like when you're sitting in your bedroom and I'm like, that's like in my full comfortability, and that's all that there is between us. Like, there's no preconceived judgment of who I might be or what I might represent or the kind of personality that I am. Yeah, so for me, it was important to share that with production and with the show, because that was such a massive fundamental reason for me going on it, because losing that weight it did wonders for my confidence, but it was less about what I looked like and more about how I felt. So I guess that's why.
And I remember you saying that there was a particular point that you felt like you didn't have any confidence, and you sat here talking very confidently about my generous. You're so sweet, like Tasha, like people love you for just being humble. I hear you talking about your experience, and it seems like obviously you became a bit more confident even before going on to Love is Blind. When you lost weight, did that change people's perception of you physically? But did you within yourself feel like you're a different person, or not really? This is a weird one.
Not really. I think as well, because while I was losing weight, I was specifically focused on myself, and it was like the own self-growth and my journey, because I'd been in a relationship for like 5 years, and I was like, when I'd come out of that relationship, I wasn't quite sure who I was anymore. I wasn't sure what my identity was a little bit. Like, I was fully invested in that relationship, and I thought that was going to be the long game. Then when I was out of that, and I remember just looking at myself in the mirror, and I was like, I looked and I just thought, I don't even recognize myself anymore. Like, I don't know who I am anymore. Like, I literally don't. And then I went to the gym and just started working out. And then it started to become like my own self-development, my own self-growth. So I didn't do anything for like that. I did it for myself completely, to kind of find a new love, I guess. And it did. It became the gym, and it became...
The whole self-love journey went from the weight loss to you going to the movies on your own.
I love movies.
I mean, I think I am quite like that. Like, I am...
That's you.
Yeah, I am. So I think it was just nice to, in terms of like my weight loss, that self-growth. But I gained confidence in terms of my identity and exactly knowing who I was and what I could give and offer to a relationship. And I think if you're comfortable in your own company, then there's something to bring from that to someone else as well. So yeah, I do. I love going to the movies.
100%. I feel like you can only be happier with someone else if you're happy on your own and quite content.
Yeah, definitely.
I love going to Padella Pasta in London. Now that you're coming more often to London, I feel like this should be one of the places you should go to.
Where's that?
It's in London Bridge. Cute Italian place. There's always a cute...
Oh, I love an Italian.
I know. Yeah. You should come more to London now. You've got your friends around here.
No, definitely. Well, I've definitely made more visits, like I said, since the show and stuff. A lot of them I'm one of the few Northerners on the show.
Right.
There's a lot of Southerners, a lot of Southern women, Southern men. So yeah, I think my accent's a bit alien to some.
Your connection in the pods was with Tom. Did you make any connections at all that we didn't get to see, or was it really just with him?
I made friendship connections. I mean, initially you date all the men, so you can kind of see, like, we had like a quick speed dating session. You see kind of who you click with straight away. So I had friendship connections, but in terms of that chemistry and that emotional connection, that for me was only with Tom. So yeah, it was a weird feeling. I can't describe it now even, but yeah, in terms of romantic connections, he would be my only one.
In terms of timeline, like you said, you there for 10 days. Do you remember connecting with him emotionally on day one, or was it more like midway through the process? Because we don't get to see it, right?
Yeah, so the first date it's very quick. Well, it feels very quick anyway. It's like over by. But I remember on the first day, he was like my number one. I think it was just the conversation just felt easy. I felt completely comfortable and completely myself. He put me at ease. And yeah, that was it really, kind of a running theme throughout and for me. So
you don't get to see, like you said, you're behind a wall, and there was a moment where you got teary and said, it's hard to explain how you feel and how wonderful that connection has been, despite him being on the other side of the wall. In your head, not knowing what he looked like, what attracted you to him? What was so strong about that connection? And I know I'm saying this fully aware of what you guys might have been experiencing would have been very amplified for not being in connection with the outside world, not having your phones, like you said. So it was just you on the date, virtual dates, throughout 10 days.
Yeah. I don't know. The way he spoke, he was so well spoken. I think we had like quite a few, our values aligned. Like we had a few things that definitely connected. And it's the weirdest, it's so odd to talk about with people, but it's like when I was stood at the outside, so you're obviously all lined up on the red carpet and you wait to go into the pods. And before I'd even walk in the room, it's like I knew he was going to be on the other side. Honestly, it is the weirdest feeling. And you're like overcome, like when sometimes you didn't even speak, just like the room just felt still. Like it felt like a safe space whenever I was with him. And obviously you're dating other people, but I didn't have that same, it was just a bizarre feeling that I can't put my finger on it. It was just whenever I was with Tom, I just felt safe. I felt comfortable and I felt like I could be completely myself. I felt like completely not judged. And he liked all the nerdy, geeky bits of me. Like that was, and I think when I said like, oh, I like going to the cinema on my own and I like coding, he always thought that was really cool. And I'm like, okay. And I don't know. And I felt so comfortable in being able to properly talk and have those conversations with him. I just felt really safe. I felt really heard. And I don't think I had it. Well, not even don't think. I know I didn't have that connection with anyone else. So, yeah, it was just he provided a very safe place, very comfortable place, and it was just so. Every time I was with him, I mean, I just got so emotional, and I don't know, like, it was just very overwhelming. Yeah, I think that's the first time that I've been able to be fully vulnerable, and like completely, just feel heard and just feel safe. It was really lovely. Like, and in a space where it's like you said, you don't have your friends and you don't have your family, you needed that, like, to be able to talk to someone that you felt comfortable with. And he in there for me was that person. He was just really special. So yeah.
Full disclosure, he's going to be here next week. So
literally,
he'll be here. I think I'm recording a thing with him next week at some point.
Oh God, he'll do better than me, I'm sure. He will. He will.
But he is a PR executive as well.
Exactly, he'll be much better at this than me.
I cannot not ask. Obviously, when you went onto the reunion episode, and I think, in all fairness to Tom, like, he's been quite classy about how he's handled all the backlash that he's had. We all have different views on, like, you know, whatever situations that would have been portrayed out there. But you had a moment where you could clarify, you know, the comments that were made on the show about being in love or not. Sounded like there was no eyes between you and Maria. Yeah. Tom clarified. He spoke very highly of you, and you guys clarified the whole situation. As an audience member, and I feel like I'm only doing my audience a service here by having to ask, the whole question has been, did you guys actually try to date after that? And it sounded like no.
Yeah. No.
Would you have tried in a different world, or even now?
I've been asked this question so many times.
I'm sure you have, which is why I'm like, I have to ask.
So no. So obviously, I mean, I knew that they'd broken up way before obviously the show aired, because I have friends within the cast, so I knew that was the case. But for me, I was really sad that didn't work out for Tom. Genuinely, when I went back to the mixer, like I really was rooting for his happiness. Like, for me, I just thought Tom was just such an incredible person. So even if that journey wasn't with me, I was happy he'd found it with Maria.
Tasha,
no, it's true. I know. Yeah, but it is genuinely true. Like, I genuinely just wanted the best for him, and I always said that to him. Like,
that's really sweet.
Even if it's not with me, like, I respect that. And I went home, and obviously when I left the pods, I went home and I cried. I cried all the time to my mum, but I was never angry or upset that he hadn't picked me. I think maybe that might be my confidence. I'm like, I kind of get it. But at the same time, it was like, if he's not seen something in me, I'm just happy that he's found someone that he can and that he gets to do this journey. So then obviously I knew that, like, I think it was like, I got told like 2 months after or something like that they weren't together. So I did know that I had that knowledge. But for me, I thought I couldn't do it to myself anyway in terms of reaching out, like, for my own.
Were you protecting yourself?
Yeah, 100%. I needed to. Yeah, definitely. For my own self-respect, like, I could never reach out to him again. Like, and I've when I came home and I was so upset, I had to fully guard myself. And for me, it's like, I want Tom in my life in some kind of capacity. And it's nice now, we are friends. But I think that is probably all that we could be now. I think I'd be silly to put myself in that kind of position again. It's a really unsafe place when you've not been chosen previously. Do you want to know? But I wanted to. I am really sad because, like I said, I love Maria, so I really wanted that to work for both of them. And like on the mix, you don't see, but me and Maria have a chat that night as well. And like I say, I'm really happy. I'm like looking at her engagement ring, and like I was buzzing for both of them. And then to find out it's obviously fallen apart, it's really sad because they did love each other. But yeah, he reached out to me when the first 4 episodes dropped. We didn't speak for the whole after that mixer episode. That was it for both of us really, because I went back, saw he was happy, spoke to Maria, and that was for me, take myself out of the equation and let them do their journey and enjoy it. I don't want to be
right.
It doesn't make any sense. So I left, and then I didn't speak to. I mean, I spoke to some of the cast, but not all of them, because I felt for me it was best for me to deal with my own emotions away and aside and outside of the whole Love is Blind bubble. So I did. I went and did that and took myself apart. And then it was, a year on. And then when the first 4 episodes dropped, I got a voice note at like 10 o'clock at night from Tom. And I was like, it was one of them, when you was like, I don't know what to listen to this now or listen to tomorrow. So I was just like, it felt like hearing from a ghost almost. But no, it's really nice because we have built up a friendship now. It's a nice, not romantic. People are going to be disappointed to hear that, but it is nice that we are friends and we can have that. And I feel like when he's had this backlash as well, I've said this, I don't know why, I feel like kind of protective over him. I think because for me, it's as well, I always want to know that Tom is a good man because I fell in love with him in the pod because he was a good man. So I appreciate some of the things he said and I've said this to him that, like, have you apologised? And he is very apologetic of like everything that he's done, and he's also really self-aware. Tom, like he's
got a lot
a
lot of self-reflection. I'm talking as if I know him personally, but from what I've seen, like in the public domain, like he's done a lot of self-reflection. And to be honest, I feel like he talks about this, and maybe people here can relate a little bit. He talks about the London bubble and how it just, like, depending on your conditioning, your mindset, your way of thinking is somewhat influenced by the people you're surrounded by. Yeah. And I think the whole profession, the comments he's made about certain profession or not, I feel like he's taking accountability for it, which was nice. Yeah,
definitely. I think it's the same with all the cast. I think I feel like a bit of protective. You know, when you see any kind of negativity, because at the end of the day, and Demi's an absolute preacher for this, but saying that, like, we need to all be kind, and like at the end of the day, these are real people and these are real feelings, and we have said silly things or done silly things, but it's like under a microscope for everyone to see, and it might not necessarily be as an overt opinion in everyone's kind of, I don't know. I think of all the cast, I just feel like every time I see something, I like just, even if it's about not me and it's like a never comment and it's on my Instagram, I'll just delete it off because I don't want any of like that to any of the cast. So.
Like you said, we've all done things, we've all said things that we've regretted, but we're not in the public light.
Yeah.
Which is unfair in this instance because you're being scrutinised by the whole world.
I mean, it's what we set ourselves up for. So, it's part and parcel of going on a TV show, really. But yeah, it does, definitely. I think everyone in there, all 30 of them, we're all very good people, and there's a reason why we were on there. We were all there to find love. So yeah, and it's just been.
You've got such a mature take on it. Love it.
Do you think?
Yeah, I do think. I think many people will agree that you've got a very mature take on it. That came across really well.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
You had me at I've got a good heart when you left. And I'm really sorry for having to make you live this again or go for the teary goodbyes again. Did you leave the show way before, or because we get to see it it feels like it's only a few days before, and then there's obviously the reveal for everyone that apparently happens for everyone on the same day, but it's very progressive throughout the show. Your decision to leave was because perhaps, like you say, you didn't have any other connection other than with Tom. When you said you've got a good heart, did it bring back maybe previous dating experiences? Because there was one thing as well that stayed with me. You said something along the lines of, for so long, you've had so little. What did you mean by that?
So little confidence. I think that comes across probably on this interview, to be honest. I do. I think I just doubt myself a lot all the time in terms of, if I say this, is it going to upset someone? If I look like this, will it? And I do. I overthink a lot of things that don't need overthinking sometimes. And I have had very little confidence. It's something that I've dealt with. I mean, I think like with my whole relation, like for like probably 5-6 years. I definitely lost myself and my identity for like quite a while. When I say I had little, it was just like, I think my confidence was just on the floor. And then I've spent like 3-4 years just concentrating on myself and doing things on my own and fully enjoying my company, building on my confidence.
Coding. Developing websites.
And developing websites. Yeah, I love all of that.
You know what? I'm a girl's girl, but I love when you say it, because I think globally, of all the coders and programmers, from what I've seen, less than 20%, I think it's like 15% globally, are women. So when you said it, I was like, go Tasha, I love it. Some people did say that it might have been that comment that maybe put Tom off. Do you think? Or not really? Have you seen it though?
I've seen. We're all like going in rabbit holes. We're looking at all, and it's always the worst ones that you're all like looking in, like saying, "What's been said about me now?" I have seen it. I don't think. I don't think that's got anything to do with it. In fact, I think I remember in the pods when I told Tom that I could code and I do website development.
He was impressed.
Yeah, really impressed. He thought that was really cool. So, and I'd hope it doesn't have any reflection in terms of how he thought I'd look, but.
Well, I don't know. I think I might come across as biased here, but I think normally when you'd say to someone, I don't know, maybe the code and the programming gives like a nerdy perception, which is why perhaps like the audience jump on this and say, I think it was that comment that put him off. Yeah. But
to be fair, because I remember in the mixer, and it was like, obviously, it wasn't just seeing Tom for the first time. Like I hadn't seen what any of the men full stop looked like. I was really careful. I didn't want to ever look on social, like try and find. No, I didn't. I mean,
did you not look him up when you left the show?
No, I didn't. I didn't want to, because I don't know why, but I just felt like at some point we're going to have the opportunity to meet again. Like even if it's not through Love is Blind, and it sounds madness, but for me, I just I know. But for me,
so wait, you've got to set the record straight. When was the first time you saw him?
Was at the mixer,
like in person, in flesh, but you didn't look him up at all?
No.
Well,
no, because I really wanted that, because I felt a bit cheated that I hadn't had that opportunity, because I'd like left and just went home, like literally got on the next flight. But I was like, and I remember seeing production, I was like, I'm about seeing the men. And I was with Shirley, me and Shirley for home, and Shirley was straight up trying to find everyone. I was like, I don't want to see, don't shoot. Like, I don't
want to. He's blonde, he's dark hair. Did she try to give me a snippet?
No, they wouldn't. The production team wouldn't tell me either. Like, even if like thingy, they were like, no. And I didn't want to. I've really wanted to see. The first time that I saw him, I wanted to be in it sounds crazy, but yeah, so I didn't. I never checked on social media. So and it was the same for all the men. So when I went to the mixer, I hadn't seen what anyone looked like. So I'm like, oh, it's you, and I recognise your voice. It's the weirdest thing, like seeing faces to voices. And to be honest, Tom wasn't what I thought he was going to look like. I mean, I remember saying on the mixer that he was quite put together, but in one of our conversations, I remember him saying something about skateboarding, and I had this in my head, this idea of him looking like a skateboarder, and obviously he's like quite a professional businessman. So I was like, you're not what I expected. I don't know why. So,
well, he also made the comment about you looking glam than what he thought.
I don't today after a 4-hour training.
You're so pretty. Well, for people not here with me, she's pretty in person than on screen. So here you go.
Thank you.
Have you, this whole experience and I know we've talked a lot about Love is Blind, but I really want this to be about you as well. You went on with the intention of hopefully finding someone. You came out with an amazing experience, not finding the love of your life. What's next? Like, are you still... I know someone has asked you, like on your Instagram, quite a few people have asked you, and you said you're single, you're not dating at the moment.
Yeah.
But has this experience changed the way you would approach dating in the future?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's time. My questioning now on like a first date is so much more intentional. And the way I'm dating as well, like I know exactly the qualities that I want in a partner and what I want in a husband. Those have been solidified completely by the show. So having first dates, second dates now, I can already, like, I have those knowing fully what my values are and what I need to align from day dot. Maybe I'm a bit more ruthless, to be honest, in terms of dating, but I don't think that's a bad thing. And I think for me now in my age at 33, 34 soon, that's why it is. It's a very good thing, because I'm 33, I'm comfortable now on my own, I enjoy my own company, and if the right person comes into my life, great. Like, let's do life together and let's build. But at the same time, if that doesn't happen naturally on my timeline, and it's not going to be, we're not fully compatible and we don't have the same values, then I'm also quite happy doing life on my own. I'd love a husband and a partner. Obviously, it's hence why I did on Love is Blind and the show. But for me now, it's kind of just like see what's next. Like just go on this natural like life journey and what comes in. I'm not like avidly on the dating apps anymore. To be honest, I'm over them so much. So yeah, it's just kind of
I get you.
Yeah, and I've got like 2 gorgeous nephews that I spend like literally pretty much every weekend with. So yeah, if that doesn't happen for me, that doesn't happen for me. But yeah,
You've got quite a fulfilled life.
yeah,
But I
exactly.
really hope you do. Love is a beautiful thing, and you deserve it like everyone else.
Oh, thank you.
If you had to code and program the ideal man for yourself, what would be the qualities you've been looking for in someone?
Someone who's super empathetic, ambitious and driven. Like I am really in that respect myself. Like I'm really ambitious, so it's nice that we have those same values and we can kind of align that. Actually, I need someone that can understand how busy I am because I have like a full-time job, and then obviously I like do my coding and stuff like that at the time, and that's something I don't want to really let up. But like I want someone else that has that same ambition and drive, and we can build a future together, like an empire maybe. I don't know. So yeah, I want someone who's confident, funny. I need someone that makes me laugh because like even if they don't like my laugh. Yeah. So yeah, just if I could code my own man. Yeah.
Pun intended.
Yeah, I know. I like it. I do.
Any non-negotiables at all?
Arrogance, bad manners, rudeness, someone that doesn't listen. Just basically like when someone's a bit selfish and they're very much driven in themselves. Like I want someone who's just kind and just loves me and just sees me for me and just enjoys my company on a day to day. I don't ask for a lot really. Just just someone like partner who's kind of just like
Someone who sees you for you.
Exactly. Yeah.
How important that has become. I mean, as you say, you've got quite a lot going on for yourself. It almost feels like, I don't know if you've heard about the whole masculine versus feminine energy.
Yep.
But we had a matchmaker on this show, and she was saying how, because I'm in my early 30s as well, and she was saying how I think at some point you need to let go. You need to allow a man to take care of you. And when I say take care of you, it's more like someone showing that they care about you and want to put in the efforts. And I feel because you're quite accomplished, you've got a lot going on for yourself. Someone who sees you for you is almost like letting your feminine energy, allowing you to look in your
be in our feminine energy. And we said that, I remember a lot in the pods in the lounge with the girls. Like, we're in our feminine energy today. Like, because we had this mirror, like putting our lipstick on and stuff. And like, I probably as well, like, don't normally do that, like with all the girls and all the girlfriends. I'm not normally like putting my makeup on the mirror, but I think that is it. I want someone that can bring out that softer side of me, because on like my normal day to day, I'm very like, I've got my business head on. I'm very driven, like bit like I said, like when I'm in my own time, I'm like nerdy and geeky. So it would be nice to someone that can bring out that softness in me and, like you say, that feminine energy.
I didn't ask, what was it going back to work? I mean, I know you've had a whole year.
Yeah.
Did people know that you were somewhere recording something?
Yeah. So I told them when I was leaving that, and at first they were a bit like, which I kind of get, like the reservations. But then obviously knowing what my story was, and I was like, I don't really know how it's going to come across. But no, they've been really good about it, to be honest. So yeah, I've been very lucky because they obviously allowed me the time and then come back. So.
You know what, Tash? Like at some point in the show, Demi said, you're beautiful inside and out. And I feel like maybe you may have got some backlash before the final reunion episode and everything else was out, but that's all been clarified and people just love you. So,
oh, thank you.
Like, I think you should be really, really proud of yourself. Like, I'm sitting here listening to you. I'm like, she's so humble. She's so sweet. Like,
do you think?
Yes, you are. Right. Definitely. And I think you deserve the best. Last question, maybe to end this podcast on a very happy note. If you look back at a year ago, or maybe in the recent years, is there any picture that you haven't shown to the world and then you look back on and you're like, I was really happy in that moment. I was really proud of myself in that moment?
I don't really take pictures, you know. These are one of the things now when it's like, I'm like going on social media, like, I don't know what to post on it. Yeah, I'm really bad at it. But I've got loads, like, you know, like when I'm at festivals with my friends and stuff like that, and just in my happy place, or when I'm with my nephew, I've got one where he's actually like, before I left for Love is Blind, he drew me. Like little, and I've got like a little picture of me and him next to each other just as about to go off for filming, and he was like, I'm going to draw a picture of you, and it's on this like blackboard thing, but it's one of them that it's like electronic, so it stays on. It's like, I'm going to do a picture of you so I can remember when you go in case you don't come back. I'm like, I'll come back, Oliver. I will be back. But he's drawn it and it's like me. And then there's this picture of like what looks like an ogre next to it. I'm like, thanks. I think it's going to fill me with confidence going for this. It's that picture. But yeah, probably like, I don't know. And the fact that I've even been through, like, for someone who's struggled with confidence in the past, to be able to put myself and my life on the line as much as I have and present myself to literally the whole world. I'm really proud of myself for going on that journey. I'm proud of myself for like losing 5 stone. I'm proud of myself for teaching myself the code. Like, I feel like I've done a lot of stuff to like self-development that I should be super, super proud of. So yeah, in terms of that, I've got a picture.
And we love this, Tash. And Tash, I can only wish you the very best. Know that there are so many people rooting for you. You should be really proud of yourself. I can sense the confidence, but if you needed to hear it again one more time, there's so many people who is about to watch this, and I'm sure they all love you and have this outpouring appreciation for who you've shown yourself to be, and you've kind of stayed true to yourself. So thank you for letting us be part of your summer.
Oh, thank you.
We really enjoy having you on our screens, and hopefully we get to see you in the future.
Thank you for having me, Demi. You're a star. No.